I'm going to tell you the adventure-filled story of the time when Matt and I got so severely dehydrated we could barely remember where we were and really what we were doing. And this is a very hard story to tell because of the obvious fact that our minds weren't quite working correctly. Well, we were in St. Mary Lodge and Resort, that is working at that location. There in Montana, Glacier National Park, beautiful park, big mountains everywhere you go. And we said to ourselves, we are going to climb a mountain today. Famous last words. Wow. The mountain that we chose was just off of the Going to the Sun road, which that's a road that goes through the entire park. So this mountain was easy to access. And so we got some light day packs on and our little bitty running shorts, and we were like, all right, we're gonna go up. I forget the name of the mountain. See, there you go, there you go. See, that's what happens when you're so dehydrated. It started with an O. I want to say it was some kind of Japanese name. BeauCh. Something like that. That did not sound Japanese. I know, that sounded more American Indian. But anyway, we did get to the top of this mountain. Now, one thing you should know with mountains, there are false summits. And false summits are incredibly frustrating because, well, I mean, obviously, you think you're at the top, but you're not. But what a false summit does mentally is it gives you just enough information, or just enough hope, rather, to keep you going. And so we're like, oh, I see the crest right there. We're almost at the top. And you get over the crest, and you're standing there on the ridge line, and you look up, and there's another one in front of you. You're like, I'm pretty sure when we were way back there, this was the last one. Let's just continue and see if that's the top. And maybe 5 or 6 false summits later, we were finally at the top. It was a very boring mountain, I remember. It was just kind of this dome, no snow or anything, just rock on top. It was around 9,000 or 10,000 feet, if I recall correctly. Again, I'm really trying here. But it was a great adventure. We got to the top. We're like, all right, we did it. Yay, accomplishment. High fives for everybody. You know, I'm pretty thirsty. I only brought one water bottle, and this water bottle has been long gone. Well, of course, you're at the top of a mountain, so there are no springs or creeks up there. As you know, water flows downhill. See, you learn so much from these videos. So there we were, going along, picking our way through the dry and crusty rocks, looking for water. I did have a water purifier. It's called a BeauCh pen, MSR BeauCh. I'm not sure if they make them anymore, but this was technology at its finest when I first got it. I took this thing to Nepal and all over the world, and it was probably influential in saving my life because of all of the giardia it probably killed. And before this little pen, you just had to manually pump the water, and that takes forever. It's just, oh wow, and your arms are burning because when you suck up the water from the stream, it doesn't really suck up a lot. It just dribbles ever so slowly into your water bottle. Thankfully, we didn't have this, and we had this purifier pen, which was something out of Star Trek. It's not the Steri pen, which purifies water with UV rays, with light, because that is instant. The BeauCh pen, briefly describing this awesome little device, you put a little bit of water in, and you shake it up to get it all salty, and then you charge this salty brine with electricity, and it creates this maybe 1/4 of a teaspoon that you dump into your water bottle that's full of water from the creek. Shake it up so that this brine gets everywhere, and in 45 minutes it has killed everything in your water. That's pretty incredible. This tiny quarter teaspoon bit has killed everything. Coolest thing ever. Unfortunately, and you can probably see where I'm going with this, it takes 45 minutes to purify water. And so there we were, so parched, stumbling over these rocks, just kind of giddy with laughter and mirth and gaiety. I think that's what happens when your body starts to shut down. I have really never ever been this dehydrated before in my life. Where to the point where you're no longer sweating. That's bad news. Your body is saying, I can't even afford to sweat. I am shutting down this gland. Yeah. Wow. And so I filled up the water and we were like, yes, water. And I set my stopwatch and we were like, okay, we need to get out of here as quickly as possible. This isn't very good for our bodies. And it did take us more than 45 minutes to get out, but right when we hit that, it was probably like 42 minutes, we were just like, screw it, give me the water. And we just downed it. Thirsty, quenchy, wonderful, refreshing mountain stream water. Are you thirsty now? What culminated this trip was when we got down to the road. We didn't end up where we parked. We took sort of this fast track back to the road, and we're like, whatever, we're just gonna hit the road and then walk along the road, because there was no trail to the top of this mountain. Did I mention that? We basically bushwhacked up this thing? Yeah. And so because there were all these tangled bushes on the way down, we had so many scratches on us. And of course our faces were all gaunt and pale from being dehydrated. And we stumbled onto the road, and it was dusk at that point. And I remember seeing a car, and this was the first time ever that I hitchhiked. And so we both stuck out our thumbs, and the first guy who stopped, this was amazing, first guy who stopped, or rather passed us, he stopped. And it was just this older guy, and we were like, I'm really sorry, we're kind of in need of, and we're talking like that. He's probably thinking, are they high? Did they find mushrooms up there? No, we were just still kind of recuperating from being dehydrated. At that point, we did have our water bottle. But the guy, kind of pushed some junk aside in his car and took us all the way down the road to where we had parked our cars. But I'm sure he looked at us and was just like, these guys are obviously lost hikers, or because we had these little tiny running shorts on, because we were gonna go run up this mountain. We just scratches. We probably looked like Rambo after he had killed hundreds of people. Oh wow. So there you go. That's the awesome story of how Matt and I got severely dehydrated on the mysterious mountain that starts with an O. I'm gonna go look up that mountain right now. Oh, and also the gentleman who saved our lives.